I appreciate and respect the angle that they took, but I just don't think they should have made the second one.
Bro, that Matt Reeves universe has created something, because you're like, now you've made that movie just elevate so much more.
This reminds me of like The Sopranos in Gotham, like Epstein Island. This was just a make of Epstein Island. I need to be in control. I can't let these people be in control of my emotions. What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out podcast. The brothers are back with another exciting episode. This week's episode, we're going to give you a little bit of our thoughts on real-world issues. We're going to break down some movies that we watch. We're going to give a full review and breakdown of The Joker and our movie premiere experiences. We are going to finish off with some news and some video game stuff. Guys, as usual, please check the description. The timestamp will always be there. It gives you flexibility to skip the small talk, skip the real-world issues, and just go to parts of the show wherever you want. You have the flexibility to move around wherever you want. As always, I'm joined by Kibbs. He's looking after the kids, so he's going to be on mute and, well, he's got his camera off. But Kibbs, what's happening? You good? He's on mute at the moment. You're on mute. I don't know if you can hear me.
It's all good, bro. Yeah, all is fine. I got a moany little one at the moment. What's up, man? What's up? We're trying to do something here. But other than that, all good, bro. All right, come on. She's like a duck. She's like following me around the house while I'm trying to clean and stuff. But you know what? Bless her. She's not feeling well, man. She's had a tough week at nursery. You kind of work out like the toll it takes on a small human being. Come here, on a small human being to do nursery, to give her a routine, sleep on time, food, looking after a little one. It's a whole different ballgame, man. But she's good. She's strong. She's actually stronger than how. It's weird. Like you notice little traits. She's stronger than like how Alara would be. She's more assertive with things, and if she wants it, she'll like proper hands down, like make noise about it. But anyway, other than that, all good, bro. It's been a busy week. Like a full-time daddy at home and trying to do like the business stuff. And guys, just remember as well, sponsors of the podcast, Cherish Clicks, Magic Selfie Mirror Booth, Magic Mirror Selfie Booth business we've started, which kind of like we want to push out as much as we can for any events in the UK. We cover South and the Midlands. And yes, it's getting there. We're getting. This is the first week we're starting to get inquiries, bro. So like
good.
we're like, okay, so that's like progress at the moment, because before we're pushing it out there, there's no response. But now we're starting to get people saying how much. So we're sharing price lists, working on different price lists and stuff like that, which is kind of a good thing. And plus, I've had some progress on the council side of things of trying to do more workshops with the general everyday people in the local area instead of me traveling. I don't mind, I'll always travel, but if I could get like something local running and do local workshops, that's with Camden Council, hopefully, fingers crossed. That's something I did a presentation the other day. Goes well and see where that goes. But other than that, bro, really and truly, yeah. This week we did Terrifier 3, which Ati covered. There's an embargo on that, so we can't what do you call it? Do a review on it yet. And then we did Joker, didn't we? So
Cool, man.
oh man.
All right. Those
Oh
movies,
man.
that terrifying movie is something I would not watch. So I'm glad Atia does all the horror movies and stuff. And
Yeah.
mini successes are good. Mini successes in the sense that getting inquiries and stuff like that is fantastic. That means that, like I said, mini successes, that's a success in a way. So if you got one, and those things take time. So as long as you keep pushing, more inquiries will come. Eventually you'll get a booking, and that's a success. And inshallah, it just grows from there. Cool, man. Listen, I know things have been busy. From my side, things have been busy too. Man, I got to tell you what happened. Freaking another Dubai story, man. So Monday morning, man. So this last weekend I was ill, and then Monday morning I wake up. I'm just trying to like get recovered a little bit, and I'm like, all right, let's get down to some work. Let's do this. I got to bang out a lot of work and stuff. Man, first thing in the morning, I get a phone call from the police. Someone's put a case on you on a road incident. you need to come to the station now and make a statement. I'm like, what the F? So Saturday, so I've explained how Dubai drivers are. I've already explained that on the podcast. I've mentioned it so many times. I complain all the time. They're the worst. They're the worst. With all respects, it is like driving in a third world country out here. When I say that, with all due respects, right? Because people drive like maniacs here, and they drive rude and very inconsiderately here, right? So basically, one of the things that they do, they tailgate you, and not only do they tailgate you, they flash you to literally say, "Get out of my way." It's a very frustrating thing. But at the end of this, I'll tell you where I'm heading with the emotion.
But hold up, man. Is that what they're taught in the driving lesson, to do that to people?
No, of course not.
Well, I hit the
It's actually
brakes so
illegal.
hard that
It's actually illegal, and you can get fined for doing that. So my goal is to eventually be the Dubai snitch and start putting cases on these motherfuckers. Seriously. So it happened to me so many times. I've had so many bickering moments and whatnot. It's hard for me to control my emotions when someone do that. It is. So anyway, it happened on Saturday. This guy came very, very aggressively. And the thing that pisses me off as well is they can see that there's two cars on my right. So they don't even, they still flashing me to say, get out of my way, knowing that it's dangerous because there's two cars on my right? So that's what annoys me the most. Because if it was clear on that side, I clearly would have moved. But clearly there's cars there and they're still flashing me to say, get out of my way, which pisses me off even more. So I was like, all right, you cunt. I moved to the right, I moved to the middle lane now, and I just give him the middle finger. Right? This piece of shit sees the middle finger. Now he gets upset by that after what he just done to me. He gets upset by that. He cuts me up and then he hits the brake. We're on a motorway, by the way. We're doing 120 kilometers, which is about 70, 80 miles per hour, something like that. Right?
damn.
He hits the brakes now. So I harsh brake. The car behind me harsh brakes. Everyone starts harsh braking and stuff like because of this prick. So me and him are proper going back and forth at each other and whatnot. And then the guy behind me, he saw what the car did, that piece of shit did. So he actually came on the other side and started bickering at that dude, started scolding him. Eventually, those two not the two pricks, that guy was cool. The prick and the other guy, they pull over and I was like, oh, fuck off. And I just drove off, right? So I get a phone call Monday that this motherfucker's put a case on me because I gave him the finger. Now, let me tell you what the finger gets you in Dubai, bro. The finger gets you in the UAE. It gets you jail time. It gets you a fine. It gets you jail time. And it gets you deportation. They don't fuck around here, right? So even just giving the finger gives you all of that stuff, right? Now, I told you, tailgating does give you fines and all that sort of stuff as well, right? But he actually put a case on that. So now I'm all stressed out, man, because I'm just thinking, oh, man, this fool shit.
What, he put a case on the tailgating?
No, he put a case on me putting the finger on. Right?
Okay, all right.
So I'm like, fuck's sakes, man. We're checking like the laws around it. And yes, they take it strict. And they have put people in prison and deported people based on the finger and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, got to the station. First thing Monday morning, I'm not even doing no work now. I just told my team, guys, something urgent has come up. I need to go sort this out. I didn't tell them about the police stuff. At the station now, it's in the middle of nowhere in the desert. But I'm nervous. I'm not messing around with the police here. Of course, you go in there. They're nice. They're cool. But of course, they're giving you Dubai service. Like, they don't give a shit about your day or time. So I'm sitting there for ages. They get one dude to try and take my statement. My guy really can't speak English. So halfway through, they get another dude come in to do it, right? So, 45 minutes is gone now. They just decide to change the dude because this guy couldn't do it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not saying nothing because I'm already nervous about the whole situation. I'm in a police station as well.
No English.
Well, trust me, man. The guys are cool though. They were cool. Second guy takes my statement, but every time he asks for my statement, I start talking. My guy like jumps on the phone, starts talking to someone else. Then Habibi talks to another dude, and I'm like, should I carry on or what? Eventually, I give him my statement, whatnot, and then he takes my statement. They translate it because they worry Arabic and they read it and see if it's cool. There was some mistakes and stuff like that, but I was like, it's cool. The guy who couldn't speak English, he eventually was trying to tell me, like, basically what he was trying to say, me, don't worry, we will sort it out. But he went on and I was like, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. But anyway, he was like trying to sort it. So the whole day I'm nervous. I'm thinking, I can't believe the case. But I told him that, listen, I didn't tell him about the finger, right? Allegedly, I put the finger up. Actually, I messed up. I already said I did. But allegedly, I put the finger up and whatnot. I told them that, no, I just waved my finger at them. I pointed at him and whatnot. But I have footage. I got camera footage on my dash cam of the dangerous, reckless driving that he caused that could have caused an accident on me and all the other people behind. He could have really caused a bad collision. So I said, I got video footage. and I can give that to you as evidence of his dangerous driving. So I think what they did was they said, listen, we'll sort it out and whatnot. I think they contacted him and they said, listen, do you have evidence of him, allegedly putting the finger up? He definitely didn't, right? And they probably told him, listen, he's got evidence, video evidence of you driving recklessly. So if you want to take this forward, that case is going to be put on you as well. So that's going to be your thing. So anyway, Tuesday, alhamdulillah, I get a call saying, listen, brother, we saw it out. Now they're calling me brother. When the police are all, calling me. I'm thinking, should I call him brother? Or, you know what? I'll just call him sir. And he's like, listen, we sorted it out. It's okay. We spoke to him. Don't worry about this guy no more. Case closed. And I was like, alhamdulillah, like that was done. But it was just such a stressful freaking day, man. And then Wednesday, I had to go down again and sign it off and whatever. So that was a bit of a waste of time. But that was it, man. And after that, I was just talking about my wife, and I was just like, fuck this, man. One, I'm never going on that lane again. And two, I do need to be stronger and not allow these people to let me react allow them to let me react negatively. End of the day, it is more powerful for you to stay in control and not switch and go angry. It's actually weak. I've heard ex-Navy SEALs and MMA fighters talking about it because they're the tough guys, right? Really, they've been in the shit. They always say, man, losing your temper is actually weak. Being under control and letting people what they do and not allowing them to control your emotions is a way more stronger thing to do. And I'm really going to try my best to be stronger from that perspective. But also I am going to try and I think I might be the Dark Knight, the Brown Knight, the snitch of Dubai, and start capturing people on camera and who are tailgating and driving dangerously, especially towards me, and then just snitch to them and just send the email and the video out and say, look what this driver's doing. I think I might be that guy now because these people need consequences and stuff, man. But crazy week, bro. Crazy week. Tuesday, though, we got the opportunity to go watch Joker, which we're going to give a review about and break down later on. But got the premiere in Dubai. Absolutely awesome. Watched it in IMAX. We didn't get the best seats like we did last time, but you know what? I ain't complaining. Just a great experience. It's great to be there. I'm glad that we're in with that in Dubai. It's great to be a part of that community here, part of the screening community and whatnot out here. You end up, I don't know, eventually you start seeing familiar faces. I've already seen a couple of familiar faces. I'm hoping in the future make some sort of connections and friendships and stuff like that.
Have you started speaking to anybody there and telling them what you do and stuff?
Not really. No, not yet.
You lose, bro. You lose.
Nah,
Man, networking, man, is big key, man. Networking is a big key because it can open up other opportunities. So
it will
chat
do
to them and
eventually.
tell them what I'm going.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
Networking, I will eventually. At the moment now, everyone's kind of in their own groups. Everyone is kind of like taking their own pictures and all that stuff. We went early actually to take our pictures and everything. So luckily there wasn't just a crowd. But it was busier than last time, way busier. They don't never start the movie on time and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, it was a great experience. It's good to be a part of it. And hopefully we get, more good news with, more movies coming out. I feel like we're in there with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. Hopefully we can get in there with the other studios and be a part of that experience. But yeah, that's been that. I was ill last week as well. So I haven't trained this week, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna start training again from Monday. Now that I'm older, I don't get straight back into it. I allow myself to recover before I get back into it. So I will. And yeah, man, that's it. That's just been the main update, man. Got to be better. I'm trying to be better. Man. Even the podcast before I complained about Dubai, and I'm like, you know what? I need to be in control. I can't let these people be in control of my emotions. I need to be in control of my emotions, and I need to be stronger about it, man. And just let these people be how they are, and I just ignore it, man. It's gotta be. I gotta have more strength to ignore it. So that's going to be my goal, man. It's going to be my goal. I need to change, really, honestly.
It's consuming. It's not like the best way to treat yourself as well. Like, because you end up not being just angry with others, you get angry with yourself. And I think that's like the hardest part of it is because you're not really and truly. That's something you can let go of. It's funny you're talking about that. We're speaking to Dwayne. And I've got this reoccurring incident that keeps happening when I pick up Alara from school. Now, listen, I'm not trying to out anybody or understand what somebody's going through, but it is kind of funny, and that's why I call Dwayne every time it happens. So there's this woman. Every time I go to pick up Alara, for some reason, she's crossing the road the same time as me. But because when you walk in front of somebody and you do that little shuffle to try and get out of the way. I got a plan, man. I ain't doing no shuffling, man. So this person does that shuffling, but the person is kind of clumsy and like doesn't know what they're doing, and it ends up becoming this shuffle that almost turns into a drop. And it's like, allow it, man. My kid, I don't want you dropping on my kid. And I don't know why I find it funny. So me and Dwayne always laugh about that, but it was like somebody new did it today. That's why I called Dwayne. I was like, bro, what is it with us meeting individuals that just either want to topple over us, drop on us, be clumsy, and make because I'd laugh, bro. Because if it did happen, I know it would hurt the child, but for some silly, stupid reason, I still got that kid in me, and like I've got Dwayne by my side that would laugh about it because it's such a silly moment. But then again, we spoke about anger, and we spoke about shout out to Dwayne anyway, man. I you know what? The past week I've been actually speaking to him a lot. I know he's not been well, and as friends, you get distant, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like but every time we see each other, it's still that brotherhood's still there. But I know he's been ill this week, and I've been calling him to kind of cheer him up because I know he's at that age now. We're at that age now. It takes longer to recover, and I can imagine how much is beating him. So we've had this ongoing joke about us losing all the time, and now it's like he goes, "Bro, I'm losing. I've come from home from work because I'm so ill." And he was like, "Before I just soldier it through the day," but he goes, "Now I'm bothered." I was like, "I know what you mean. I know what you mean." But he was just saying, like anger wise and like, how he was then to how he is now. So, he's so easy to let go because I've seen him, bro. Like, we could have a road altercation. Back then when we were fresh 18, 19 on the streets with the Suzuki Swift and Nova, like, there was bare arguments we got in. Bro, one time, I still don't know how. Sorry, D. I know you watch this sometimes. But he licked the car. I know he licked the car. I know he hit that car. I know he hit that car. The car ended up chasing somebody else. So I'm like, we were all racing. I remember we were so it was Jakob in his Nova, me in my Nova. He was in his Suzuki Swift. There was a girl that parked up. You know that Tottenham Hale the roundabout area?
Mm.
And it was all parked up, and we started off at the traffic. This girl's hair was like this. She had this like that punk style hair, and man, we blurted, man. Like I miss those days. I genuinely miss those days. I suppose we're talking about it more often, but it's a kind part of my and fun part of my childhood that it's not about like I've never regretted the decisions I've made. It's because it's made the person I am now. But I do miss those jolly moments. So basically, we fire off the roundabout near Tottenham Hale, off the lights, and we're screeching down, bro. Tires burning, all the shit. Dwayne used to wheel spin that car to death till the wheels had the mesh on it, and then him and this girl are proper at it, and she like does this little crossover. He does a crossover. This random guy gets hit by Dwayne. And this guy drives over the island. Remember there was an island there? He drives over the island, chasing the other person, not realizing it was Dwayne that licked him. And then, yeah. So,
you put yourself on
as
mute.
you get older, with anger issues and road altercations that we had, he just came to a point where he just was like, you know what, I'm gonna let go of this now. Like what's the worth of me going through all of that? But Dwayne's had this thing about letting go of like past pain and past trauma, past mistakes. He's done that really well. But yeah, that's anger, bro. Anger, and momentarily anger. That's like it's energy that we don't need to waste. And I've realized that now that like I only drive in the car when it's necessary with the kids. Other than that, when like Shanann says, why don't you take the car or something like that? It's like I'd rather just jump on the train. It's less stressful, and for me, it's much more safer because in a millisecond, bro, life can change, isn't it? From a middle finger to the police station. You know what I mean? 6 months.
It's crazy.
You may could have done Salsa could have done prison time.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Deportation.
That's some OG's like, yeah, what you in for, bro? And I'm like, yeah, man, give someone the middle finger. That would have been my prison story. Like, what? What? I mean, look, I don't know. Look, so because they're so strict about that sort of stuff out here, I don't know if it's better or worse. But I mean, look, in the West, people fight and all that sort of shit. Here, they're so strict on things like people don't really fight. You know, yes, people bicker and stuff like that, but don't really go anywhere. And the truth is, like, yes, momentary anger is unnecessary, man. So I'm gonna do better. I've got anger issue problem anyway. I just need to do better, and I especially with people who don't mean anything to me in my life, like these strangers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why am I wasting emotions? Why am I wasting my day thinking about them?
So what you do is Dwayne's philosophy, bro. Next time you blow a kiss or do something different, that will throw them off, bro. My guy will come off the motorway after you've done that, bro. Dwayne used to blow bare kisses to people, bro. It would throw them out because they were like swearing at him, being racist, and he'd be like, mwah, blow a kiss. And I was like, oh, bro, you just frustrated that guy even more, man. What are you doing that for, man? We're gonna get into beef now. But it's a good terminology, bro. I feel like
I ain't blowing no kiss to anyone out here, bro. Let's remember where I am as well. So I ain't blowing a kiss to anyone. I reckon people go to prison for that shit. But yeah, no, definitely, man. It's lesson to be learned, for sure. Cool. Well, look, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Start. Let me try and get rid of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, guys, as usual, as I keep saying, you have the opportunity to skip this part if you don't want to hear our thoughts on real world issues. But we are going to talk about it because I'm deeply invested and it's hard. So, you know, guys, as usual, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free Yemen, Syria, Lebanon. Lebanon's going through so much right now. Guys, like what's been happening in the world right now has been crazy. Again, guys, don't take the news from me. Take it from like independent news sources. Fuck the mainstream racist propaganda media. But check, you know, Breaking Point, check Mark Lamont Hill, check Glenn Greenwood, check Zateo. You know, I've been listening to like of course you got Norman Finkelstein, so much things going on. But Israel it's just made it worse. They just really wanted this war to go as what they wanted, a regional war, and they're starting World War III because they've been bombing all these different countries. They literally with Lebanon, like they discriminately kill. They discriminately kill innocent people. Like they're happy to kill innocent people. They love killing children, and I keep saying their legacy will be child killer. They are using indiscriminate killing. They use, I think, what's his name? John Mersheimer, I think his name is, who's like philosophy and in war and whatnot. He's just a genius and whatnot. He was saying that they're using, what did he call it? I think it's like torture or something. I can't remember what it is. It's just indiscriminate, man. Their philosophy, listen, man, in World War II, that's what the UK and US done to like Dresden in Germany, right? They indiscriminately just killed civilians, and Japan, of course, as well. Just killed civilians by the masses to try and get the civilians to turn against their government and whatnot. But their philosophy was that let's just kill as many people as possible. Let's be the most brutal force ever. Kill as many people as possible, and they'll turn against their government. Israel, the so-called most moral army in the world, the so-called precise strikers and all that sort of shit, constantly using human shields to every situation in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Iran, in Syria, in Yemen. Same excuse. Human shields, to just discriminately throw like 1-ton bombs all over the place. They really done a number on Lebanon. All this bullshit about precise striking and human shield is bullshit. Iran struck them. So it's funny, right? Iran, who we're told who is the bad guys, right, is able to strike them and hit military bases and kill no innocent people, right? I think unfortunately, one innocent person in the West Bank, a Palestinian, unfortunately died because I think the Iron Dome intercepted one missile and that ended up falling on someone there. But they killed no innocent people in Tel Aviv, but they were able to damage a military base. That's Iran. That's supposed to be the so-called bad guy, whereas the so-called good guy and the most moral army in the world, doesn't know how to do that, and they just blow up and kill innocents beyond innocence. They blow up schools and mosques and apartment buildings and hospitals. You know, in regards to Iran's strike, their revenge strike was to blow up an orphanage in Gaza. Like, that's what they do. But they're supposed to be the good guys. They're the most evilest, disgusted child killers on the planet. And now they've started World War III. I just read something about World War III is gonna happen, man. They started it, man. I just read something about they just blew up or hit a Russian base in Syria. So now Russia has enforced like their citizens of Israel and Lebanon to leave and come back to Russia. I think I read the number, like they got 1.5 million people from Russia in Israel. Now 1.5 million people from Russia living in Israel, or so-called Israelis. I mean, that's what I'm saying about Israel. Like 1.5 million, I think that was the right number, from Israel, from Russia, the rest from Europe. The only Palestinians that are from that land are the Palestinians who are second-grade citizens there, who actually live there. It's just crazy, but those guys are murderers, man. They're the worst, man. They just made these things worse. They just made it worse. And that's exactly what they wanted. That's what that Yahoo, that war criminal terrorist wanted. He wanted a war with Iran. He's dragged the US in it because they will never win without the US. So they've dragged the US in. If I was a US citizen, I would. It would be terrible that my tax money is going towards them. Everything towards them, for them to blow up children. Where the fact is, the US, the country that I live in, I mean, you know what? I pay taxes in the UK, and they still fund them for weapons and shit as well. Excuse me. So it's this bullshit. Like my country, the US and UK is all fucked, homelessness and starving children and all that sort of stuff that's happening there. In the US, you can pay for education and medical cover and all that sort of stuff. But instead of like that, we're spending our tax money to fund Israel to blow up children all over the Middle East. They keep talking about peace, and they blow up, they murder and assassinate all the peace talkers, and all the leaders. They keep talking about peace, but that's what they do. They just kill all of them. Like it's ridiculous that people are still falling for it. And it's ridiculous that the Western propaganda bullshit news are still going with their propaganda bullshit news, which is ridiculous. It's like the whole world knows, the whole world sees it constantly all over social media and everything. And the internet, the world sees it, but the propaganda news is still trying their best to push it. But there was a wicked interview with those two, actually, I saw on Piers Morgan. And you know what, Piers Morgan, you know, I call him a cant, but really, like, he does give people platforms. He does put himself in positions where he allows them to make their not case, but put the truth out there in a sense. Mehdi Hassan was on him and on that show and just called out Pierce's double standards with Russia and Israel. It's like, how could you support Israel but you don't support Russia when Israel is clearly worse in what they're doing? But exactly the same thing. A conquering empire who's trying to ethnically cleanse people off their land and whatnot. But for some reason, Pierce is like, oh no, they're Israel's our allies. And Mehdi Hassan was like, oh, okay, so because they're our allies, they're allowed to do genocide and shit, and just really called out Piers on that. But it was a really good one. And then low-key called out Piers Morgan as well, in so many different hypocrisy stuff. I mean, I give Piers credit because he allows those people to come on, he allows them to say their piece, and he gives them a platform. And you know what? Maybe, I don't know, man, maybe there's something about Piers where he's like, guys, I agree with you, but I can't say anything because it's my job and all that sort of stuff. So he just lets them come on, let them say their piece, sometimes even make Piers look like an idiot. But like, I give him credit for letting them come on and speak part. But this is gonna get worse, man. I mean, they wanted this war with Iran. I mean, it's dangerous and scary, man. Iran's been preparing for this since Iraq and whatnot. You know, the so-called weapons of mass destruction and whatnot. Those fake wars that they did, proxy wars that they did in Iraq and Iraq and Afghanistan, and all the lies about weapons of mass destruction. Which that Yahoo, you know, he was a part of that as well. And since then, Iran has been stockpiling on military, man. I've been listening to some stuff. They've been stockpiling on military and ballistic missiles and stuff since then because they knew one day you're going to try it with us. So you know what? We're going to prepare as many missiles as possible. Like they're going to stockpile it in military. So they've been doing that. And, you know, they go, of course, technology is advanced. That yes, they got the biggest army in the world, the US backing up Israel and giving them all the weaponry and stuff. But you know what? Iran took weapons too. They got weapons too, and technology has increased, and they do trade with Russia and stuff like that. Like that Yahoo's put his own people in danger. He's put his people in danger. He's put the Israelis, the innocent Israelis, the children and the women there who are innocent. He's put them and the men who are innocent there. He put them all in danger. You know, he's put them in danger, man. And that's what he's done because he wanted this. He wanted this. They want the Greater Israel Project where it takes up parts of Lebanon and Syria and Saudi and Iran and all those places, Yemen and stuff like that. They want that. And now they're pushing for it. This Zionist movement, this Zionist murderous movement that's out there trying to do that. That's what they want. And they made things worse, man. Iran's well prepared. It's not going to be easy. I mean, when I say easy, it's not going to be good. The outcome's going to be horrible for everyone. So much destruction. I mean, Israel knows nothing but destruction, you know, nothing but destruction. All they want to do is just blow up and murder innocent people. And that's all we're seeing from their side. But the mainstream media will never tell you that, oh, Iran struck Israel. And by the way, it was just a military, like it was a military base. They hit no civilians. And one side, they're like, oh, they're so weak and whatnot. But two, they're not showing you like, actually, they destroyed some of their military bases and stuff. They're not even talking about that. So it's just fucking crazy, man, that we're in this situation, man. And again, like, it's just dangerous, man. It's fucking dangerous on what this Yahoo's doing, man. This freaking war criminal, disgusting human being. Yeah, man. And the mainstream media is always going to be the bullshit, racist propaganda mainstream media who's never going to really tell the truth about what's happening. They're just going to like, you know, all these people already like, oh, we stand with Israel, we stand with Israel, we stand with Israel. After they blew the shit out of 1,000 innocent people in Israel, in Lebanon, just killed 50,000 people in Gaza, they're still like, oh, we stand for Israel after what Iran did. And I'm like, you sons of bitches, you're not even talking about how Iran was actually very precise and just struck military bases. In fact, on CNN, check this out, so-called fucking human shield, on CNN, they were like, oh, Israel got struck and Iran's so monstrous, they attacked the military base, which is around civilians. So I'm like, hold on, Israel. So you actually put your military base in Tel Aviv around civilians, just like so-called what Hamas and Hezbollah do. So you just admitted that Israel is using its own civilians as human shields. And Iran, who's supposed to be the bad guy of all of this, and I'm not praising anyone, but what I'm saying, they're supposed to be the bad guy in this, were able to not blow up and kill any civilians as you have your military bases in civilian, as you're using human shields, they're using Israeli human shields, but they didn't kill any civilians. They stuck to the rules of law. Like that whole Dresden shit that I spoke about earlier in World War II and everything, they put international law and war laws and laws around war because of that, man. You can't do indiscriminate killing. Israel just completely ignores all of that shit, does whatever the fuck they want. And Iran, who's the so-called bad guys, are the ones that actually sticking to that law, let alone they're sticking to Islamic law. You're not supposed to kill innocent people. You're supposed to attack the military base. And that's exactly what they did. But the mainstream media would never tell you this. Of course they won't, because again, propaganda, racist bullshit. But it's getting worse, man. It's gonna get only worse, which is scary, man, for everyone.
No, it's horrible. Who wants to live in that state once he grows bigger anyway? Who'd want to be in that state? Even the people that live there, bro, are fleeing. You know, and from what I hear, their infrastructure, their businesses is losing, bro. People have lost businesses because of this war. Who would want to be there for that right wing You know what? To be honest, any right or left wing, there's always issues, and I hate that because it's segregation. It's always segregation, bro. Always segregation. Uh, oh, hold up. Sorry. Wow. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, hold up. Sorry, man. Just got an email from Disney. Always throwing me off, man. All right, cool. Sorry, that does throw me off. I'll message back. Uh, Where was I, bro? Sorry, guys. So people want he wants to make well that government wants to make the land bigger, but nobody's going to be there. Where people are fleeing that country that they said so cool is our home, they're fleeing to other places now to go some other places. Uh, there is going to be like a this is going to be like a third world war. That's going to cause a lot of disruption around the world when it comes to financial and economical issues that will arise after, bro. Because this is insane. The fact that we've come a year, bro. We're coming up to a year later. I'm going to the march tomorrow, and they've gone into another country and they've started with Lebanon, and I don't understand. Like the thinking behind it is gone. So when a Zionist tells me, the problem is that they're the ones that actually raised up on textbooks saying Muslims are this and that. That's why they can't go around that. But I'm like, it doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense. Even the guy who looks like Yakub, sorry, bro, that guy looks like you.
Yeah, evil yak, the so-called son of Hamas or whatever, that tech traitor, spy.
Basically, I don't think he is. I think they put him in there to kind of give them backup, bro. My guy's getting paid, bro. At the end of the day, we all got bills to pay and people are greedy. There's stuff on the agenda for you to cover. On there. It's like Michael Rapaport. That guy, you know what? I give him credit. He was funny. But seeing what he does now, it's like, hold up, bro. You were a comedian. You were actually kind of good. And even with some of the stuff that you did, but now it's like forced.
Yeah, he's a
Like
paid
forced.
propagandist. He's a fucking idiot as well. He's a paid propagandist. Which
Proper like and it annoys me. It absolutely annoys
I
me.
was a fan
But
of him.
anyway,
I was actually follow him. I was a fan of his. I actually enjoyed his Instagram, his comedy and stuff like that. I was a
yeah,
fan,
yeah, yeah.
but he took it. He's a paid propagandist, and it's like, you know what? He always talks that guy. He always talks about old school hip hop and how real old school hip hop was, and how the black people spoke for, used hip hop as a platform to speak for themselves and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, don't ever talk about old school hip hop again when they talk about their struggles that they went through. And then you clearly know what's going over there or not over there, but you're paid propagandist and you say nothing. You're as good as a fucking racist white supremacist. That's what you are as good. So don't ever talk that shit again. I lost so much respect for that guy. But I tell you the other guy I gotta find his name because I can't remember. It's the other Jewish brother from New York who I've been following, who's who's what you call it? He's speaking out against the truth. I gotta find his name. I can't remember what his name was, but
Oh, he does like the funny videos as well.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he did one recently
He's,
where
he's
he's
an
eating a
actor as
shawarma and
well.
he's like, yeah. But listen, bro, like with because this is always the issue with like life is people are put a hierarchy chart, right? People have been put in a hierarchy chart. And even me speaking to Dwayne earlier, we spoke about colonizing and what it's done and and how it's been taught. And we're seeing the repercussions now of having that colonial era and that same mind state like this is the 21st century and we've got people trying to take over people's lands. This is insane, bro. When countries have just come out of the British uh, regime, you know what I mean? They're going independent. They're not part of that colonial era anymore. It's it's insane the fact that we're going to this point. But listen, I can go on for this forever, and and it's heartbreaking, and we'll always speak about it. Now we need to help, and I think this is what we can do. So, guys, please click on the links in our bio, click on the links on our social media pages, click on the links in the description. Donate the money to medical aid, which is going to Palestine and now Lebanon, which is fucking insane for me to say that. I also want to shout out the people on TikTok because I think what upset me the most this week was seeing the amount of people quickly being displaced. And my best friend and his families are going through the shits right now. And him being silent because he's afraid of saying what he wants to say and not, when somebody suddenly tells you the purpose of what he's doing now doesn't make any difference to what people are going through over there. And I'm not doing the right thing. I don't think I'm doing the right thing to fulfill my purpose right now. Was heartbreaking to hear from your best friend because I
Have
feel
you
like
had
he's a well successful business dude, Ahmed.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I've
have
got
you
nothing but
heard
love
from
for him
him?
and his family. Yes, I have. We have been me and Yak been speaking to him. I know he's been a bit silent. He's got more than enough on his plate now. People have invaded his fucking country again. You know, there's a reason why Hezbollah was there in during the late 80s was because of what Israel was doing. So it's like it
Watch
stems from
Chris.
all of this shit.
Check out Zeteo because he gives you the
Yeah.
breakdown of how Hezbollah was formed. Exactly the same as Hamas. Like he
Hmm.
gives you so guys, do check that out if you want to see how why Hezbollah.
But that's the thing, though.
Ultimately, they were all formed because of the colonial racist Zionist regime who's basically taken over their land. So they formed these resistance groups to fight back. That's how they formed. Since
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, resistance, Islam, we're the bad guys. We're going to be the bad guys, bro. The media has the whitewashed media, the propagandist media has run with that for years, bro.
but
So people
that's
will
a
look
part of
from
an
the
empire
corner of our
strategy.
eyes. That's what I'm saying.
That's not
That's how
part.
it works. If we can't do it where we could do it blatantly and start taking people's countries and taking their resources, then let's do it in a different way where we can scare the shit out of people. General everyday folk who watch this shit, basically.
Yeah, that's what the propaganda media. It's a part of the empire strategy, bro. Like you have to remember, like they've used with empires, man. Like back in the days, yes, it was all like just killing and murdering, stealing land, which they still do now. But there's so much more technology and other ways of doing it, and propaganda is one big part. They've done the propaganda back in the days, but now they do it with these big entities, these news entities, which are losing reputation. News has lost so much
Yeah,
reputation.
they're bro.
Social media's
Nobody.
come in, but still, they're doing it and they're trying to listen. Loki just said on Piers Morgan's like, Switzerland, who's like the most neutral country in the world, doesn't class Hamas as a terrorist group. The West does, or America or UK and stuff, but the most neutral country in the world, Switzerland, doesn't. What does that tell you? And again, the same thing. Nelson Mandela, normally you lot all called him terrorist, just because he resisted an apartheid South Africa, and then after what, you put him in a hero. But there's this other guy I've been but you got to check this hypocrisy out as well, because it's all hypocrisy.
Mm.
Check this out. I got to tell
Double
you.
standards are the standard, bro. I
Yeah.
mean,
So there's this guy here. His name is Tanesh Taneshi Coates,
hmm.
right? Basically, he wrote a book. He's a African American dude in the US. He wrote a book about racism in the US, and he's done loads of stuff, like he's a professor or whatnot. He's done loads of stuff on that. Anyway, he talks about the racism in the US, talked about the whole George Floyd stuff, and beyond that and whatnot. I think the whole DEI and Black Lives Matter stuff, I wouldn't say he created it, but he was like a big influence towards people creating that stuff, right? And I'm not saying those things are good or bad or whatever. I'm just saying that. Anyway, he wrote all these books, but because he wrote those books in America, talking about racism in America, bro, all of the elites and whatever welcomed him and said, "We're going to work with you to make things better in America." They welcomed him in the higher echelon stuff. What his main focus is in his new book called The Message is, I've always wanted to be the voice for people who don't have a voice. So he went to Senegal, right, and be the voice for people there. He went to Israel and he was the voice he saw with his own eyes the West Bank and places in Israel, the apartheid state. So he said, I'm going to be the voice for the people who don't have a voice. He spoke about all of it. Bro, all of a sudden now, before he was all in, now they're all against him. How could you speak about that, about Israel? Why don't you ever say whatever happened to Israel? How could you say they're an apartheid state? Why are you anti-Semitic? They literally almost called him a terrorist, all this sort of saw these interviews. And I'm like, hold on a second. So when he talks about America's racism and apartheid, Americans are all cool about it. The moment he brings up Israel, Americans are like, how could you do that to Israel? It's like, oh my God, you guys don't even want to defend your own country, but you defend. It's ridiculous, bro. So now
It's really weird because
it's
you look at the
crazy.
bigger picture of this land being stolen and created, but it's the chokehold they've got this country in. Both of those countries, bro. How have they got such a chokehold on the government of the people in power? Like that is scary in itself, bro. Because you're talking about hundred years plus of manipulating, control, and taking people over. Like how do you? It's selective and so smart and so. This is you're talking about, we read comic books, bro. You're talking about that's like a Thanos thing to take over galaxies and universes and shit on a larger scale. You're talking about it on, bro. They got the biggest two countries in a chokehold for them to not agree on ceasefires, to not agree on, like, bro. I've seen some videos on Zetero where there's a guy questioning. I can't remember the journalist name. Forgive me, but he's really good. But you see these spokesmen and they just talk shit around it, basically. We'll do the investigations. We'll wait for Israel to investigate themselves about killing, that person. So all the innocent people that are not even Palestinian people, the people that have gone out there to protest, have been shot dead, killed, including British citizens. Nothing's happening, bro. You're talking about a year of no justification. Oh, they're still investigating, bro. This is a time where you need people like, Spawn and the Punisher, and we're talking about big team up of people just killing up people, just to kind of make the world a different, better place. But then that turns into evil as well, because people probably call me,
Yeah.
uh, 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 because I'm part of that resistance. I'll be a part. I'll agree with that part of that resistance. It's not a one-sided story. I don't want innocent people to die. Both sides. I just want justice for people we've already lost. We don't understand what's going on here. And now that it's weird because at first you're like, oh, well, Hamas did this, Hamas did that. And then, people who learn history and you go back in time and you're like, it never started on that day.
They're
So
gonna
it's a
do it.
bit of a
Look,
weird one.
it's coming up in 2 days. They're gonna have a big. Trust me, the Western world and Israel have a big day on October the 7th. Oh, like they have numbers, but all the Arabs and Africa, they don't have numbers. They don't have a day, right? Because they never will include that. Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's bullshit. Listen, with this whole superhero stuff, like we're superhero geeks. The fact is, I know people make up stories, but at the end of the day, when you really like dig down into the principles of these superheroes, end of the day, they will be fighting with the resistance. Believe it or not, they will be fighting with the resistance because they know what's right and wrong. That's the whole point of superheroes and whatnot. And if you think you're the good guy because you like to blow up children, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. If you really think you're the good guy to say, I'm okay to just throw a 1-ton bomb and I don't care who it kills. Oh yeah, my justification is, oh, they use them as human shields and we're gonna get 1 militant, but it's okay to kill 500 people and million and children and babies. It's okay to do that. If that's your justification, there's something fucking wrong with you. It's literally. Listen, man, the war, if it goes to the World War III, could be dangerous. I mean, like I say, Iran. It's just a different game. Whether it's very different. They've been preparing for many years because they saw what happened in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're going to get involved. There's so many military bases around there. Don't you think just because the US will definitely are getting involved without that? They've already sent troops. Apparently, there's already troops and them all bombing. I read something that they're bombing Syria already or whatnot,
Mm.
Yemen already, and the ports and stuff like that. They're putting American citizens, sorry, not citizens, soldiers in danger because they're going to get attacked immediately in those bases. You think Iran's going to go down, just go down? Like, is Israel want a regime change and all this bullshit that they want to do in the Middle East? Like, they're going to blow up fucking oil reserves and all that sort of stuff. If Iran does that, the US economy is finished. Like,
Yeah, they're
literally,
dead and they
Israel's
won't be able to
taken.
pay them.
Yeah, it's literally Iran would strategically start striking US oil reserves and all that sort of stuff, and that's it. Your oil and gas prices are fucking sky high, off the roof, dead. And Israel's literally, their economy's fucked. They want to take down America with them. Like it's ridiculous how they want to take down the world with them, man. It's scary, man.
It's weird. All right, it's weird. Guys, please donate. That's the main thing. Please donate.
Donate.
Go to the. But
Nice.
I did my main part was we started a subscription on the Brothers Geek Out page on TikTok. A couple of people have joined. It's £3 a month. The money does not go to us. The money goes all to charity, guys. So whatever money we make at the end of the month, that all goes to charity, and that will go to medical aid for Palestine and Gaza. Thank you to the people that have, and we've started a new goal for Instagram from both of my personal page and the Brothers Geek Out page. It's £100 goal, and every little helps. Like whatever we can do to help them. Uh, You know, I even think about the people in Israel right now that are shitting themselves at the moment, thinking, what has this government done?
What have they done to
What has this
themselves? I mean,
government
look,
done?
quickly on what you just said. My wife and a group of friends out here in Dubai have organized a walk that they'll be doing
Yes, put that.
just for females. Yeah, it's medical aid for Palestine and Lebanon. And alhamdulillah, their goal was £300. They reached £1,000. Alhamdulillah. So we'll put that link in there as well. So please do that. The walk
Yes,
is
please.
tomorrow, but you can still keep donating and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the important part. That's the important part, guys. We as a community, as a people, need to help, donate, spread the news, spread the real news out there. Like, stop allowing them to demonize the brown people, the indigenous people, and the Muslim people. Listen, the Iranian guy sent a message, and he said something about that we will take over. This Zionist entity must be destroyed, and the Holy Land will be free again. So listen, I'm fucking what do you call it? I'm what's the word? I'm
Misquoting it.
paraphrasing it.
Paraphrasing.
But he's saying
Yeah.
that the Holy Land will be free again with Muslims, Jews, and Christians. That's what he's saying. Remember, guys, it's got nothing to do with Jews and the Jewish religion. It's all to do with the Zionist movement. I just saw something that this Jewish brother was being attacked by a Zionist. This Jewish brother, all Jewish, bro. My guy's got the beard, the hat, the clothes, everything. He's getting attacked and he's being told by this European white-looking dude saying, "You're a traitor, you're a traitor. I'm a real Jewish person, you're a traitor. You go live in Gaza, you go live in Iran." And the Jewish guy's like, "I would love to live in Palestine. That's my home people. Those are my people." Bro, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous when it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, donate, spread the message, boycott the fuck out of
All the rest of those people. But guys, please donate, donate, donate. All the links are below. And please, if go to our social media pages, whatever. Everything's on there. We always talk about it. We always will. We'll continue. Uh, it's what we can do.
Sticking on real world issues, man. We have had a few things that I wanted to bring up. Another few people have passed away, which definitely want to give some respects to. First of all, a guy called Imam Marcellus Williams. I don't know if you guys must saw on social media. This guy was put on the death penalty for a crime allegedly that he committed years ago. It's a horrible situation. Like there was a whole thing about not giving him the death penalty. There was a whole big protest, but the victim's family was also against the death penalty. But it just shows the American system. And they gave this brother, I don't know if we spoke about him or not, but they gave this brother the death penalty anyway, which was just, I don't know. I just wanted to give him his shouts. One of the final words he did say something about, it's in Allah's hands. No matter what, Allah knows best, and it's in His hands. But it's a heartbreaking story, and it just goes to show that the American government system the law system is just always going to be racist towards the minorities, man, black people, colored people, Muslims, whatever it is, man. But they've been going for a lot, and this is just a recent case um, of that. So I just wanted to kind of give him a show some respect. So rest in power,
No, rest in power, man. That
Marcelo
one was a
Williams.
heartbreaking one. Yeah, that was a heartbreaking one. Yeah, it was tough, bro. You kind of think like, the system is not made for us. The system is actually created to make everyday folk to fail, which is a shame. It's weird that I've had to learn that now in my older age, that the system is not for us and it's not meant for us everyday folk. If that system was on point, then an innocent man won't be dying on the chair right now. I mean, he'd be in prison still. He wouldn't be dead until they find him. It's weird. Now without evidence. Well, they did it before. They've done it in such a way now. I looked into this one because I heard it was the local council, the local government guy who wanted this to happen is an absolute dickhead, bro. So some people just have a vendetta, bro. Some people just don't want to see another culture rise or another people rise. We're all one anyway. We should be all one as human beings. We ain't. We segregated ourselves thousands of years ago, bro. And that's where the problem is that people have treated people like shit for centuries, and it's just continued, bro. And people have just accepted it. But I realized, like for me, the system doesn't matter where you are, whichever system you try and govern people, doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can be as nice as you want and the rest of it, but there's somebody else who's going to stab you down the road, steal your money from something else, embezzle money off you, or just fuck you up, bro. People are just horrible, and it's just the society we're in, and we're controlled in that society because you have people that actually believe in the powers, bro, and that's the scary thing. Because if you take Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, and you read it properly, you understand that you know what we can actually all get along fine. It's people that are on a hierarchy chart that end up fucking shit up for people, bro. And yeah, such a shame.
Yeah, I know the Innocence
Such a shame.
Project, and I've seen them on like Joe Rogan's podcast, and they have this whole thing where they try to get people out on false accusations and all that stuff. People they give life and stuff like that on false accusations. You know, they were on it as well. But it's a shame, man. It's such a heartbreaking story. But rest in power to him. Yeah, moving on. Rest in peace to Maggie Smith, who passed away. She's been in so much, man. I mean, she's been in bloody Harry Potter, in Downtown Abbey, freaking hell. What else am I familiar with here? Loads of the Harry Potter movies. She was in Sister Act. Yeah, man, she's just got a catalog of stuff. Catalog of stuff. Rest in peace to her. How old was she? She was in Captain Hook. Oh, not Captain Hook, but Hook, Romeo and
Yeah,
Juliet. Just tons of stuff, man. Just a catalog of stuff. So rest in peace.
rest
Rest
in
in
peace. She's done loads, man.
yeah,
She's done
rest in
loads.
peace, Maggie Smith. Well, still on this, man. Rest in peace, John Ashton, who just
Oh,
passed away. You know, for us, best known in Beverly Hills Cop. We just saw him in Beverly Hills Cop, actual Foley. You know, for me, that's where I know him from. That's why I'm always going to be familiar with his face. Of course, he's got a catalog of movies that he's done as well. But what was his name in Beverly Hills Cop again?
Taggart.
Haggard, that's it. Haggard, yeah, he was awesome in that, man. Just rest in peace to him. And there's another one, man. Like I say, it's just a familiar face that you've seen, especially in Beverly Hills Cop, which is like a childhood movie that we grew up with. And we just saw him in actual Foley. So rest in peace to John Ashton. Oh, I can't believe we're doing this, man. We're doing so much of this, man. Rest in peace, Kristofferson. Chris, how do I say his man? Kristofferson. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Forgive me, man. The guy from again, best for me.
Whistler. There's Whistler.
I was
And
just
he's a
about to
great
say,
country folk singer as well.
yeah, that's it. I think he's more known for that, but we know him from as Whistler, right? From Blade.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, he's got a
Rest in
catalog
peace.
of
He's got a catalogue of music, but he's got a catalogue of movies as well. So no, rest in peace, man. We'll always know him as Whistler. That's where we were first introduced to him. I didn't know
yeah,
his music until after. So definitely.
yeah, definitely. Rest in peace to Chris. And then again, crazy man. Rest in peace, John Amos, who
Mm.
passed away. Another legend who's got a catalog of movies going back to Coming to America. He was in Die Hard. He was in Lock Up. He was in Block Party, Coming to America 2, Uncut Gems. That guy's got
His TV shows, man. He was in loads of TV shows.
yeah, I think
Uh,
he showed up in Beverly Hills, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, um, Two and a Half Men. He
he's been
showed
in
up. My
loads.
Name is Earl. Like he's been in so much, man. He's been in so much stuff. The West Wing,
Hmm.
yeah, loads of stuff. Outer Limits, bloody hell, man. This guy's been in so much stuff. My
He's had
Texas
a game, bro.
Ranger,
He's had a game. He's had a game. He's definitely had a game. So good on him, man.
yeah,
Good on him.
legacy of stuff
Uh,
that he's left behind, man.
we've lost some
Uh,
legends, man, but we're at that age now where those guys, the guys we grew up with, the guys we've seen, they're gonna be slowly going from the world, man. And it's a scary part.
Yeah, all the people I just
And
mentioned were all like, what's the age? 80s plus. I mean, they were all born in the
yeah,
1930s and 40s and
yeah.
whatnot, except the brother who was put in death, who was unfortunately murdered, you could say, by the US state. But the rest of all the actors that we just spoke of, oh yeah, we're at that age, man. It's a scary thing, but that's a part of life, unfortunately, and one day we're going to face it with our loved ones and stuff. But we always, because this is the world that we admire and whatnot, we talk about the podcast, want to always give them a shout out as well. So rest in peace, John Amos.
No, rest in peace. Sending prayers.
All right. Well, let's do this, man. Let's get into some movie reviews. Let's break down some movies. And I think the first one that we should break down is The Joker, Folie à Deux. That's that
Yes.
correct.
Folie do. Yeah, you did say
The
that.
Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, The Joker 2, the movie the sequel that they should not have made, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I'm gonna talk about the great things that I appreciate. I appreciate and respect the angle that they took, but I just don't think they should have made the second one. The first one was such a masterpiece, in my opinion, so great. Where the second one just, I don't think it lived up to it, and I'll tell you why. In my opinion, like the first one built up, it gave us so much of Arthur Fleck, which was amazing, and then it built up to the Joker, who was just fantastic, and this whole character change and his confidence in the Joker, and you're like, oh my God, I want more of this guy. And then this movie, rather than giving us more of him, you went all the way back to Arthur Fleck, and then you went back to, and I appreciate what you did. I think it was an expression of his mental health and the childhood trauma that he went through. But you didn't give us the Joker. You gave us a little bit element of him in the courtroom, which was great, right? But the musical side of it, and I know there was so much talk, and it's getting really mixed reviews, really, really mixed reviews. Mostly the stuff I've been seeing is very negative. But from my perspective, this is what I think. Like, I think the musical and the music element of it was an expression of, like I said, his mental health and when his childhood trauma kicks in. Because they talked a lot about this in this movie. And just like, because the music came in so randomly, so like, this doesn't even fit in. But I think, again, that's an expression of like, well, that's what people go through when they have trauma. Like, it's not scheduled during the day. Something triggers that off, and then they go through that traumatic incident in their head. And I think that's what the music was supposed to represent, the singing that was supposed to represent. So from my perspective, that's the way I see it. So I feel like Todd Phillips's vision was to express trauma and mental health through a musical. Now, I don't know the guidelines of making a movie or a musical, but I don't think this followed the guidelines of a musical. He done it in his own way to express that. So I appreciate all of that. I think the performances were fantastic. Lady Gaga was awesome, and she done musical. She's great at music. She was awesome at that. Joaquin Phoenix, of course. I mean, the guy's fantastic, absolutely amazing. His character as Joker and everything. But I didn't get Joker. I got more of an Arthur Fleck story. I have to say, I did feel sad for him at the end. I felt very sorry for him. That night, I was thinking about it when I went to sleep. I could stop thinking. I was like, I really felt really, really sorry for him because of the traumatic stuff that he went through, the trauma he went through as a child. And then at the end of the day, no one ever loved him. And we're going to spoiler territories, guys, but he was never loved for who he was. And even Lady Gaga was supposed to be Harley Quinn, which I feel like a lot of the movie was around her and stuff like that, which I was like, I don't really want to see that, to be honest. I still want more Joker. But even she didn't love him at the end because he was just trying to, they were trying to say that he's two different people, his mental health, he's creating the Joker. And I think what it was like, ultimately, he's him. And that trauma that created the Joker was still him. But he was never loved, even by someone who thought that loved him, didn't actually love him. And then, he ended up getting killed at the end, which was very shocking. I didn't see that happening. But I felt so sorry for him at the end. I actually didn't feel like this. I felt like it's the Joker, man. This is supposed to be a iconic villain in the Batman stories, but I felt so sorry for him at the end that he was never loved, and then he ended up getting killed by not being loved, and he went through all of that. And I was just like, that's what ultimately it made me feel. I know this was a standalone movie, and I do want to ask you questions about where do you think this fits in the DC, like DC universe, or that's a universe. And I know it's an elsewhere universe, but that's the DC universe. That guy who killed him, there was something weird about him throughout the whole movie. At the end, you see him slitting his mouth like that. You saw that, right? I'm pretty sure I saw that. He slit his mouth like what the Heath Ledger's Joker looked like and whatnot. In my head, I was like, are they going to try and carry it on with this guy? Because technically, Bruce Wayne was still a kid. That guy who stabbed him looked kind of young. Maybe that could be the Joker of that Batman if they make that universe, but I don't know. But
I don't think
ultimately,
they will. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Honestly, yeah, I don't think they will. It's a messy movie, bro. Even when I came back home that night as well. Now, don't get me wrong. It's always exciting. You're watching a premiere, bare people on the red carpet. They come and present the film, gets you all hyped up. You watch the film. There are parts of the movie like, listen, bro, cinematography, color grade, music, amazing performances. 100% hands down, they were great. Man, it didn't make no sense to me. Like, when you actually think about it, you're like, damn.
the courtroom, wasn't it? It was just a
Like, so that's why I
courtroom
was so
drama.
specific with my quote. When I sent the quote out, I was like, Todd Phillips did great. He directed very well. Phoenix's performance is amazing. Lady Gaga adds a magical uh, musical element to it. But I said the movie is a total madness. And that means it don't make sense. And I think that's, in a way, I think that's what the movies kind of represent, madness. But there's no coherent story in it where it kind of, the first one, you could at least follow the story and then realize, oh shit, he imagined them scenes. So what's real and what's not real? Where this one, you're kind of like, what the fuck is going? There was one scene in the courthouse that really threw it off for me, where he puts the voice on
Mm,
when he's speaking to his friend
like a
Puddles.
Texan, like South.
Puddles, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was why did they make him do that for? Why didn't he just do the Joker thing? And I think as fans of the comic book and the performances we've seen, we expect a certain amount of what we see, like, a comic book element to it. I've got to say, this is not based on any of the comic books. This is just Todd Phillips writing with his co-writer. But the movie was like this. It's like a wonderful mess of a film that I'll never watch again.
I was just about to say it doesn't have rewatchability like the first one. I watched the first one
No,
just to kind of
the
get me
first one
through.
I've seen a couple of
It's
times.
like I would class the first one as almost like a masterpiece, bro. It's so
Yeah,
great. It's so good. And like I say, on that one, you can follow a story, you can follow the journey of how he becomes a Joker, the social construct, the trauma he was going through, and he becomes that. And this is my point, man. When he becomes a Joker, it's so exciting, but then the movie ends. And you know what? You could have just left that and be like, oh my God. I wish I had more, but I'm glad I don't because it's a masterpiece. But then when you made number two, there's so much expectations of giving us more of what you left off with part one, giving us that character, and you took it all away until again the almost the end of the movie, or just that courtroom scene of the movie, and that was it. That's all you saw, and I was like, that's it. Like you didn't give us the Joker. Like this movie's called Joker 2. Like you're supposed to come off. I mean, not supposed to. I don't know. Like you make a decision however you do, but I think the fans expected more of what you gave us from the first one because you just introduced us to him and he was fantastic, and then you completely take him away. I agree. It doesn't have rewatchability. I do think the mess was what goes on in the mind. The mind is messed up, and I do think that, but I just don't think it took us anywhere. Seeing Harvey Dent in it was a little bit of a geek out moment. The explosion that happened, you see half of Harvey Dent's face kind of like scratched up and everything. Cool. Again, this is the DC universe. Those things will happen. Maybe
yeah.
there's not a Batman. Maybe it's a Thomas Wayne. Well, now Thomas Wayne got killed in the first
No, it
one.
was already
I
killed.
don't.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
really
that's right.
speak
Yeah,
much about that one, but it's a it's a sequel that they shouldn't have made. They should have just left number one how it was. It was a complete masterpiece, and they should have left it how it was. Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely fantastic. You can't take that away from him. He is absolutely amazing at what he does. But like I said, I feel sorry for Arthur Fleck. Like, this is a movie where I've come out where like I'm I feel sad for the villain, someone who just didn't get love from a child all the way up. And this is the beauty about the Joker and the Heath Ledger's one and done. Like you don't know nothing about that. So you don't feel like, oh man, I feel sad for him and I hope nothing bad happens to him. You kind of like this motherfucker wants destruction for the sake of it, and I love it, right? But when you add that element to it, which is great, you can see where he comes from. But man, all the people he ended up killing in the first one, really, he was like they didn't deserve to die, but they bullied him. They bullied him. They disrespected him, and it reminded him of his trauma. It wasn't just random innocent people. It was just, so you kind of like they humanized the Joker so much, where it was relatable, whatnot. But in this one, they humanized him so much where you're kind of like, I feel sorry for him and I feel sad for him and whatnot. And I don't want to see a Batman against him because Batman's the hero. I don't want to see Batman beat up a poor guy who's gone through childhood trauma and all that sort of stuff. So really,
Yeah.
it's glad that none of that stuff happened. But at the end of the day, I know you tried to take a different twist on the Joker, but I think with this one, I think it was great on the expression of mental health and trauma, but just overall, it's just like as a movie and as a comic book movie and an expression of the Joker, the character, the Joker.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't
It
worth
doesn't work,
making
bro.
up
It's
to,
a hard
yeah.
one, and like that's why I have to be so specific in how I word myself and things. Listen, man, I'm always a fan of the art. I'm always gonna go cinema, regardless. Always gonna go. But they didn't. This was a cash grab, bro. Such a shame. This
That's
was
what
a
it
cash
was
grab.
because the first one was the highest rated R-rated movie at the time before Deadpool Wolverine.
Billion. It did a
A
billion, bro.
billion. So
It
they
did
were
a
like,
billion.
oh, you got to do another one. And they're going to just take as much money as possible. It's a shame because it doesn't demonize the first one at all because that's still
No.
perfect. It just does, people are blaming Todd Phillips. The people do the usual. Todd Phillips, he fucked it up. It's like, like, I don't get that. He made a
No, yeah,
mistake.
exactly.
Maybe, yes, there were certain mistakes made, but don't blame him. Like, Todd Phillips. But I've seen loads of reviews. Todd Phillips fucked it up. He shouldn't have made number two. He always does this. He makes a number two and fucks it up. He done the same thing with Hangover. Hangover, I don't get, bro. That's a comedy. So I'm twisting to, but people are cussing him about Hangover 2. I'm like, that's a comedy. Like, how epic can you? I know Hangover 1 was amazing. Hangover 2 is just as crazy and
That's good.
amazing as
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
why
yeah,
are
yeah.
you criticizing? Oh, he shouldn't have made a number two. Why? It's just jokes. This one, I can get it. Like, you shouldn't have made a number two because this is a very serious movie or whatnot. With a comedy, I don't get it. But yeah, man, that was my thoughts on Joker, man. At the end of the day, I didn't want to. I'm not going to shit on it and say it was a shit movie. And then we talked about what we thought about, the messiness of it. But I will talk about like I did really feel for Arthur Fleck. Like, forget Joker.
Yeah, no, of
I
course,
felt for
yeah.
Arthur
Like
Fleck. I felt sad for
it's
him,
the
man.
feeling of not being wanted and the feeling of not being loved. I mean,
I was
horrible.
sad, man. I was
Absolutely
sad.
horrible. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, man. That was the Joker review. All right, so I watched a few movies. I'll give you my quick thoughts on it. Blink Twice with Channing Tatum.
I heard
Channing
this is a good movie.
Tatum,
I haven't seen it
Naomi
yet.
Aki,
Yeah.
Elias, or
Directed by
what? Forgot.
Zoe Kravitz, first
Zoe
movie.
Kravitz. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, it was great. It was a good movie. It was very creepy and whatnot. I'm telling you straight. Epstein Island. This was just a make of Epstein Island. I'm telling you now. Rich billionaire dude owns an island, gets females on there, and they do horrible stuff. That literally, I'm saying it straight. That's what I think this was a take of, in a different version. Like, again, this kind of speaks on trauma again and therapy and whatnot, and the element to forget your traumas and therapy, your traumas, right? So they basically, not to spoil it too much because I know you haven't seen it, but they basically create these sort of drugs or whatnot which make you forget. So instead of like going to therapy about understanding your traumas and getting over your traumas and facing them, it's more about forgetting your traumas. That whole thing about forgive but don't forget. This is more like forget so you don't have to forgive sort of thing. So anyway,
That's
based on
deep.
that,
That's deep.
yeah. Listen, Channing Tatum's awesome. It's good to see him back in some of these serious movies because he's always just been like in comedy and stuff like that. The movie was great. I'm telling you straight though, Epstein's Island, man. That's what this is and that happened. That is real. Can't
Yeah.
deny it. So it's kind of like that. Do check it out though. It's a great movie. Good movie.
No, will do, definitely. That's on my list to watch. It's on my list to watch.
I watched Rebel Ridge, so I know you watched this. And you spoke briefly about it last
You
week.
think?
So Jeremy Sonia, Alan Pereira, Don
Pereira, yeah,
Johnson.
yeah,
But so first of all, this was actually not bad. It was a great movie, and I really liked how calm and cool and collected he was, just like
yeah,
the
yeah.
military man that he was and everything. It does touch on what we spoke about earlier on real world issues, just the certain justice systems and the corruption.
Legalities of and corruption and the way it
Yeah,
works. Yeah, it's
yeah,
horrible, bro.
it's horrible. So this kind of touches on that because it happens, yeah,
Yeah,
basically in states and like that. And he goes on a whole vigilante sort of thing against these police officers and whatnot. But he's very calm, collected. He is like this martial artist, military, marine and whatnot, which was
yeah.
amazing. I have to say, I did like his calmness. There was just something professional about it. I was, as I was watching, I was thinking, you know what? If they built a Jack Reacher universe, like this would be amazing if he was a part of this Jack Reacher universe because they're just so both big, muscly, handsome, calm military dudes who are just kind of being on this, almost like a vigilante sort of thing against the law and whatnot. And I'll be like, that'd be amazing if those two somehow were in a movie together. Like a
Flash in
universe.
it. That'd be quite cool, definitely. I
But
mean, it's a good film. I really enjoyed it. I can see Aaron Pereira as John Stewart, Green
I was
Lantern.
just about to bring that up because he's been spoken about at pitches,
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, 100%. I could see
yeah.
him as John Stewart. So, hey, very cool movie. I have to say, it was very like easy to watch, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, I feel it was really good. I've enjoyed that one. Um, Next movie I watched 1992 with what's his name?
Tyrese Gibbons,
Tyrese
Ray
Gibbons, Ray Liotta,
Liotta,
rest in
Scott
peace.
Eastwood.
Got Eastwood, yeah. Director Ariel Vorman.
Okay.
Look, this was based around 1992 and the riots in 1992 after the
Detroit, right?
no LA.
LA.
The
Sorry, yes, LA.
Yeah,
After
the
the
Rodney
Rodney King incident.
Yeah, the Rodney King incident. So they kind of use this real life premise of the racial stuff that's going on, but more about the riots that went on. And basically through that, it was Ray Liotta and Scott Eastwood's characters and that group of people trying to do a heist during that, using that madness to do this heist and whatnot. Ultimately, like the movie, like from what I saw, was just two different perspectives of fathers. You know, Tyrese's character, who's a father who just is trying to do the best for his kid and trying to look out for his kid. Where you got Ray Liotta as a father, who is the head of the gang, who's trying to do this whole heist, who is, as a father, just heartless. As a person, he's heartless. As a father, he's heartless. So it just kind of shows that. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to show within the movie as well, within this heist movie and everything. It was a great watch. It was an easy watch. It was Ray Liotta. I gotta show respect to Ray Liotta. What a legend, man. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it's the last movie of his
Yeah.
before he passed away that they've released. But yeah, I think this was good. I mean, like I said, they used a real life situation. It's interesting that they used a real life situation and created a story around that time and that chaos
A
sort
little
of thing.
heist, yeah.
Yeah. But fatherhood, man, fatherhood is what I feel like the movie was trying to show. Two different perspectives,
Definitely. Two different
uh,
perspectives, yeah.
two different humans,
He's fucked
basically.
up, man. Ray Liotta wasn't there fully, was he? And then at the end,
No,
when
did you
that
watch it?
scene happened,
So you watched it then, yeah?
yeah, I've seen the whole film. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm talking. I'm trying to go on like you haven't seen it. So yeah, fucking spoiler
Yeah,
alert,
I've
man.
seen it. Yeah, man.
Ray Liotta ends up killing his own son and shit. He don't even give a shit about them, bro. Like he's all fucked up in the movie, man.
Go.
Yeah. So 1992. As we said, Ray Liotta's character was just two different perspectives of fathers, basically, and fatherhood
Yeah.
and whatnot. And we're different. We're different. How do I pull it, man? I guess, look, a criminal father who's literally wants to be a criminal and again, it's in the word criminals and the lifestyle they've chose. compared
Mm.
to someone that has been in jail and whatnot. And again, when you look at it from a perspective of 1992, a black man and a white man, you're going to presume that the black man is the criminal and he's going to do bad towards his kid. So it's very opposites of that. There are,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Good. I mean, it's a good watch. I feel the ending was a bit anticlimax, but it was again for me, bro. Like it was a nice, easy watch. And to be honest, I wasn't even on my. You know what? Recently, I've been doing pretty well, is not being on my phone all the time. So it made me engage with it a bit more. Because what tends to happen is you pick your phone up, scroll, that's it, good night. You know what I mean? So uh, keeping my engagement going, but mentally trying to stimulate myself with what I'm watching to make me engage. So that's why some movies could be off because you're stuck in your phone still scrolling. But yeah, if you want to check it out, 1992, man, check it out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, the other one I watched was Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
I
This was
need to watch
actually
that. I haven't seen
this
it
was
yet.
actually really cool. But really, really,
Yeah?
really, I thought it was ended up being a comedy type movie of two professionals who are the most insecure professionals ever. It was just hilarious, and it's good. Those two
Okay.
got such great chemistry on screen. I think Promotion 11 and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the insecurity of because you've got these amazing professionals and the way they handle their business in the beginning is just so direct, professional, amazing, speak this sort of way, very this is what's gonna happen, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then you get into the insecurities of them both, which is absolutely hilarious. And then it just kind of like for them to ended up, kind of teaming together and working together in a certain thing that was I don't want to spoil it for you and whatnot, but it all ends up to be that. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. It's
All
actually
right,
really
cool. I'll
good.
watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
The way it kind of links them back together to a point where they have to work together and whatnot. So they had to overcome their insecurities that they had about their jobs, who they are, about each other, to end up working with each other. It's just great chemistry with those two in the movie. So The Wolf, I think that was a pretty decent movie. Let's give a quick review and thoughts on Killer Heat. I watched this one. It was on Amazon Prime, directed by Philippe Lacote. It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, I
This
need
was
to
all
see
right.
that. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
it wasn't bad. It was just like a detective, kind of like one of those detective movies, someone who's got shit in his past that he's trying to deal with, going into doing a murder detective, being a murder detective on a case, which was started off as a so-called suicide, and then kind of discovering who's involved and why they're involved and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, pretty decent. It's one of those movies where you kind of sit back and you will be like, oh, he's discovered this, and I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you can get the premise of like rich family, someone dies in the family, so you're like, yeah, someone's trying to take over for the business. But what he ends up discovering throughout the movie is what the detective part is about, which is pretty kind of decent, I guess. It's one of those movies.
I'll check it out, definitely.
Oh, right. What else did I watch? All right. We can't give a full review on this, but the best thing on television right now is The Penguin.
Mm.
And just watch episode 2. And I'm saying it straight. I think that's the best thing on television right now in regards to a show. It is amazing. I don't know if Colin Farrell could win an Oscar for this, but I believe he can. I mean, look, acting, you win an Oscar for acting. My guy is
Yeah.
literally a different human being. And I know people act as a different human being. He's literally a different human being, not CGI or none of that sort of stuff. And his performance is fantastic. But this reminds me of like The Sopranos in Gotham. Like it's
Yeah.
wicked. And his acting is so good. The show is so This is a show I don't pick up my phone. I don't pick up my phone and scroll on this when I'm watching this show. Look, I love these gangsters type of shows. I've always loved Sopranos and all these gangsters. This one is literally giving me that in Gotham City. And they're really building up on this character, the Penguin. But he does it, he plays it so well. I love the way he talks. I love the way he's oh my God, he's a whole different human being. And I just love all the actions. The way he is absolutely amazing. The way how manipulative he is and just controlling these two gangster families. Like, yeah, you're really seeing the mind frame of the Penguin, of how
Yeah.
he can manipulate these organized crime, because he got into government. Like, this is him, like he really is they're showing in this movie how he can manipulate governments, you know. When I say governments, I'm talking about mafia families, which governments are really, which really are. They're
Yeah, yeah,
mafia
yeah, yeah.
families, right? Legitimate ones. Well, Colin Farrell should get an Oscar for this, in my opinion. His acting is
He needs it.
phenomenal.
He needs it, bro. It's so good, so good, so good. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't seen a second episode yet, uh, but towards the end of that first episode, the way he kind of put everybody on each other, and the sister knowing that he is the one, bro. That Matt Reeves universe has created something because you're like now you've made that movie just elevate so much more that it made me want to go watch it again. And that's a 3 hour movie, bro. That's not an easy watch. Like I've seen it twice in cinema and then I've seen it once at home, but I do want to watch it again. But Penguin made me just say, "Oh, I need to revisit that world again." And it's amazing, bro, because that's a really good Elseworld story that people can, like. Sorry to go back to the Joker, but Todd Phillips didn't care about this movie. That's why it came out. It's a studio cash grab. Matt Reeves has full control over this. He
I mean,
wants to do
look,
it
you can't
properly,
say he
and just like
didn't
how Christopher
care.
Lee.
You can't say he
Well, I
didn't
don't know.
care,
Yeah,
but
I don't think he cared. I think the studio was
didn't
like
care.
just
The
do something.
studio didn't care because
Yeah,
I don't think Tom Phillips wanted to make a part two. I think the studio didn't care, but they were like, you need to make it. So they gave him all
yeah,
the
yeah.
money. And I think he cared. I just don't think it was,
It was a bold
really,
statement what he did. Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
the main universe. This Matt Reeves universe. Keep going. I want more.
I
This is
want a
sick.
Matt Reeves, bro. I want a Matt Reeves. Do you know what's crazy? I just want a Matt. This is how crazy it is. I want a Matt Reeves Batman universe. Forget about the DC universe. Matt Reeves Batman universe so far. I mean, bro, DC have always done a great job with their villains. I mean, but man, now I'm a Penguin fan. Are you crazy? Like now you've made me I've always been a Joker fan, right? Because of from I would say from Jack Nicholson, but Heath Ledger for real. Like for me, really, Joaquin Phoenix's first one. I've always been a fan of the Joker. I've always think he's an amazing villain. Now you've made me a fucking Penguin fan. I can't believe you smashed
Oh,
it.
Carl. He's the penguin, bro. He's the Carl.
100% Carl, our boy Carl. Bro, Colin Farrell's wicked. I love his
He's so
acting in
good.
it.
He's
So
so
good.
good. He's a
So
really
good.
good actor, bro. Really good.
It's,
He
it's
has
always been
surprised the hell out
great.
of me. Yeah,
Always been
always, no
great.
matter
This
what.
one,
Yeah, even better. Even better.
the makeup and stuff is so good. So good. Like the
You don't
facial
even know it's
acting.
him. You
And
still don't know it's him.
you don't know it's him, but what I'm saying is like the facial expressions, he gets it all on, like the makeup is so good. Shout outs to that team as
Yeah, yeah.
well. But shout outs to them whoever done that because they make it so good that they can get his facial expressions and whatnot. Penguin is absolutely fantastic. Best thing on TV right now. I'm telling you now, my opinion.
No, really good. Really good.
Um, okay, the other gangster show I've been watching, which is a bit more of a brighter one, a little bit, was Tulsa King season 2, which is
I haven't
still
seen that yet.
good,
I need to watch it.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's all right, you know. It's Sylvester Stallone doing the gangster thing or whatnot. It's okay. When I say it's a brighter tone, there's a lot more of a cheesy, brighter comedic tone here,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got violent and stuff like that. It's got what's his name, my guy in it, uh, um, come on, Frank Grillo's in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
heard he is in
know.
it. Yeah.
It's cool. It's easy watchable thing, gangster show, which is cool. So I recommend if you've seen the first one. The other gangster show, which has actually been fantastic as well, is Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist.
I haven't
Bro,
seen that yet.
it's created by Shia Agbona, like Kevin Hart. You got legends in this, right? Kevin Hart's in it, but you got legends like Don Cheadle, Samuel Jackson, Terrence Howard, like freaking amazing performers in this movie, in this show. And bro, like the act, like Kevin Hart, like I know he gets a lot of stick by some of the stuff that he does, especially when he always plays himself. In this movie, he plays himself a little bit, but he's doing a lot more acting and whatnot. He's
Okay.
trying a little bit different. But you got Sam Jackson is an amazing gangster, like, wicked, right? I wish he does more of these sort of roles and whatnot, or he should do more of these sort of roles. Um, but bro, like the way this show has kind of played out, and the heist and the twist of the heist and who's involved and all that, it's brilliant. And it's like these old like 70s, it's like based on like Muhammad Ali times or whatnot. I think it's based like
Yeah,
70s.
yeah.
And just after Vietnam, like when he didn't go to Vietnam and everything. And that's the kind of dynamics of the show. Um It's fantastic. It's really good. It's like really good, man. So the way they take the
I'll check
show,
it out. Definitely.
definitely worth a watch. This is definitely worth a watch. I would 100% recommend this show. Can't wait to finish it. I just watched episode 7, I believe. And every episode is honestly, it's a gangster show, which I like. But and you've got a bunch of legends in here as well. But it's how do I put it? Like just the twists and turns that this heist takes
Mm.
and the character building that is done is it's really fantastic. So another great show to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it's on my list, bro. It's on my list.
Another not so great show. Sorry, in my opinion, Agatha all along. Listen, I'm not the target audience for this, 100%. I'm the MCU target audience for sure. But in regard, so that's why I kind of watch it, only because of that. But really, I get on my phone immediately. I'm not enjoying the show at all. It's not for me. Um,
I
you
haven't even
know,
watched it yet, bro.
yeah, I wouldn't even recommend you waste your time on it, to be honest with you. I don't know what the reviews are. I haven't even been watching it or whatnot. I don't know if it's getting the same
It's
shit
mixed.
as
It's
I go.
mixed.
I think as acolytes.
Actually,
I
saying
mean,
that, it's actually the most watched thing at the moment. That and the Penguin
really?
in
Okay.
the listing. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. But the thing is, like right now, it's so difficult to find the time in to sit down. It's like, what do I watch? Like I watched this TV show. Not it's a TV show. I think the BBC ITV did. It's called Des. It's about the Muswell Hill killer, bro. It's 3 episodes. Sick, so good, bro. I was like, oh my god, this happened. During that time, Dad was saying he didn't even want to be out in the streets because this motherfucker was killing these people, and it was like definitely want to watch, bro. 3 episodes. It's based on a real life event.
I don't know if I want to watch that, man.
Crazy,
Muswell Hill's
bro.
a bit too
Crazy
close to
shit, bro.
home.
Yeah, man. Proper crazy. But yeah, look, I don't know, bro. The thing is, right now
There's
we're
no
spoiled
time.
with
I
so
would
much.
honestly, because I know you, like, and I know Ash especially don't watch it. I know you. I would say don't watch it because unless you have literally time to waste. I'm not enjoying the show at all. And again, I'm not the target audience, so I'm not going to sit here
Yeah.
and shit on it about everything. But it's just not for me. I'm not watching.
No,
I'm
that's
watching it
cool.
only
That's cool.
because I got a bit of time and it's part of the MCU. So that's just my opinion.
Nah,
All right.
cool. All
Before
right.
we get into quick trailers and stuff, why don't you quickly talk about some of the stuff that you watch? And I know you got to log off. I could just finish off with the news and stuff. What sort of stuff have you watched? That you want to give quick thoughts about?
Des, which is about the Muswell Hill killer. Guys, check that out. It's actually really good, really gripping. It's David Tennant, who played the Doctor who plays the actual killer, which is insane, bro. Plays this Irish guy, man. The way he deals with it, I don't even know if you know the true life story. He was actually a policeman before he started killing people, bro. So the Met was under a big investigation because he was like, this motherfucker was a cop. Then he retired. He left because there was some issues there. My guy's gone out killing spree. He's been killing since 1970 something, bro. He goes, it could be 15 people, it could be 115 people. I was like, what the fuck? He was burying people in the garden, burning them, eating
Wicked,
them.
wow.
Also, bro,
What? When
man,
in the
he
70s?
weren't eating them. Sorry, he weren't eating them, but he
Uh,
was cutting them into pieces. He was putting them in his floorboards,
in the
carpet,
70s, when's this
cupboard
based?
in the 70s.
Okay, so we were in Tottenham then. Well, Dad was not. I was in the Stars basically, but Dad was in Tottenham at the time. They were in King's Cross or
No,
something,
no, no.
right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Crazy, crazy. So that I watched that sort of Joker. What else, man? That's it, bro. It's been a busy week. I watched loads of Cocomelon and kid stuff
Okay,
that's
okay.
sometimes just play into the evening. We're like, why the TV still on for? One of those ones.
All right.
It's like, wow,
Well,
man, it's 8 o'clock and it's still playing kid shit. Yeah, so not much on that.
why don't
I
we
haven't
go
read recently, man. But yeah, go for it, man. Jump into
trailers?
the
Well, let's go into like quick
yeah.
trailers that came out that we watched. Thunderbolts. We finally got a trailer for Thunderbolts, which actually looks pretty good. It's like Marvel's version of like Suicide Squad or whatnot. I
Yeah.
genuinely enjoyed watching the trailer. I think this is great. I think it's great when all these characters I know. So I'm excited to see Bucky for sure. I'm excited to see, some of these other characters come back and join up and see what they do with this movie. The new characters definitely is going to be who's the Superman guy? What's his name?
Bob
Centurion.
Serenity.
Serenity? Was it Serenity?
Yeah,
Why did I call
Serenity.
him Centurion? Anyway,
Centurion. Is it
That's the old
Centurion?
cartoon, isn't it? But anyway,
Yeah.
the trailer
Come in.
looked really good. I really enjoyed it, man. I thought the trailer was had a bit of humor to it. Looks like it's got some great action. All these guys teaming up. Bucky looks awesome.
Yeah, Century. Sorry,
Century.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what he brings to the table. He's gonna be the only new person that's gonna be introduced to us, so that's interesting. But I think it's always better when you make that you build these characters up already and put them in a movie. If this was a brand new movie with brand new characters, all these characters, it would be 100% hard to do. You know what I mean? That's not an easy job to do. So I'm looking forward to that. I generally am. I think that's going to be fun. The other trailer was Gladiator 2. I mean, you reacted to this one. I mean, what's your thoughts after the second trailer that you saw? Do you think this? I mean, it looks grand and it looks like it's going to be epic. Do you
It
think he's
will
going to
be,
give
bro.
us that?
It'll be grand. It'll be epic. Again, that's what I'm scared of. It's like a movie that we don't need. We didn't really need it. I don't know how they're going to expand on that universe without the main character, which is Maximoff.
But
That
this is
was
his
the
son,
guy,
though,
bro.
right?
That was the guy. Well, that's what they're saying. The trailer could mislead us, but I'm like, who did he have that kid with? I thought his kid died. Did he have like what making me think that is, did he have an affair with that queen and had Lucius was that because they call him Lucius in the trailer, right?
Believe
Lucius was that
so.
boy from the first one.
Well, maybe it is that. Okay, that'll be interesting. But yeah, because why would he have an affair? Because he was so in love with his wife and his child. Like, you know what I mean? That was the whole point of the movie, the revenge for them of the first one. And then for him to go and have an affair is kind of like, you
No,
know?
that's right. It's full on.
Okay, we'll see. But it looks
All right.
grand though.
It is. It is grand.
I know you got to shoot off, man. I'm just going to talk about the Ballerina trailer, Ashton, the
Yes.
reaction. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this
Ashton, the
this looks
reaction.
great. Now, this
That
is a
looks good.
movie. It's not a show because the show, The Continental, for me was kind of boring or whatnot. But this looks great. It looks like a John Wick movie. The action, all that sort of stuff, which is fantastic. And then John Wick shows up, Baba Yaga at the end, which is awesome because I don't know why they're doing like. First of all, when you do a John Wick universe or whatnot, like you get him involved, it just pumps it up even more. It goes up 10 points. That was fucking awesome. So this looks really cool. Action looks really cool. To get him involved at the end, obviously it seems like it must be a prequel to number 4 or before number 4. Fucking awesome trailer, got me pumped. So definitely can't wait for this one. All right, just finishing up with this week's news. Kibler had to go, so I'm just going to give you a quick update on the news and all the information and stuff that I found. So, talking about John Wick 10th anniversary to bring the film back in theaters. So, if you want to experience John Wick in the theaters, it will be back. It was in theaters between the 3rd and the 6th of November for its 10-year anniversary. So guys, check that out. Check your local cinemas. If you do want to experience John Wick, the first one, which I would have to say is the most epic one, and that obviously started this whole universe off. Do check it out in cinemas. Can't wait. If you know what, if it's out in Dubai, I think I have to do it because I don't think I watched the first one in cinema. So, and I think the first one's one of the best ones. All of them were great, but that bathhouse scene in the first one, or just his aura in the first one, you felt that. You felt his aura in that first one, which was just fantastic. So, guys, keep that in mind. John Wick out in cinemas again in November. All right, moving on to some DC news. So there was all these rumors about Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, was going to be, well, Josh Brolin was going to play Hal Jordan. He apparently turned the role down, and now they're talking to Carl Chandler. So Carl Chandler's Green Lantern Hal Jordan casting comes to life in new DC art following recent reports. So I think it's just rumors again until it's confirmed. I think people are throwing rumors out there, but I'm on ScreenRant.com. And they're saying Carl Chandler gears up as the DC superhero Hal Jordan in the Lanterns TV show in new art after he was reported to be joining the DC Universe franchise. With James Gunn's DC Universe on the horizon, several films and TV shows are in various stages of development, with some of them having reached the casting process for the For the Lanterns TV show, DC Studios is currently looking for the lead men who will play Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart through the former through the format as has reportedly been found. So nothing's confirmed yet, but I think they're just throwing out names out there and whatnot. Maybe Josh Brolin was their first pick and he turned it down. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Kyle Chandler's on it. If they look to get looks like if they look at the cast for Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, then I feel like that's what makes sense in regards to an older Hal Jordan. So they're already kind of like passing the mantle on to Jon Stewart rather than giving us the Hal Jordan story. So we'll see. I think that makes more sense if it's an older, because everyone's like, I don't know, maybe you should start off, give us well, you know what? James Gunn had his vision. So however he wants to take it, I'm gonna appreciate for what it was. I was gonna say like maybe they'll give us a Hal Jordan story, but if they want to go straight to a Jon Stewart story, I guess they're trying to introduce both of them and slowly just kind of move forward with Jon Stewart. We'll see what happens. Sticking on DC, they're looking to do the upcoming Bane and Deathstroke movie has the potential to be more than just surprising team up between Batman villains. So they're looking to do a Bane and Deathstroke movie, which is very interesting. I'm on Screen Rant. I'm just reading. I'm convinced that the DC movie will be revealed to serve as the replacement for the Suicide Squad on the big screen. With James Gunn and Peter Safran at the DC studios, the company is looking at the next decade of DC releases, which includes movies, series, animation, video games, and more. I'm excited about the new era of the content, which will feature the announcement of DC Universe projects, more surprises entering the DCU, Elseworld movies and shows, and more. So, look, I like James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. I thought that was great. I think he does great with building those characters and stuff and just making a story about them characters. But a Bane and Deathstroke one I think will be really good. It wouldn't be, I don't know, I don't think it would be like quirky with comedy and brightness too. I think it'll be more dark than anything. And DC do a great job with their villains. We were just talking about the Penguin, how now I'm a fan of the Penguin because of the new Penguin show. The Joker, I've always been a fan of the Joker. I feel like take that route of building these villains up in this Batman universe, and just give us an amazing Batman universe story. I don't know if these villains are going to be based on the Batman that we have now, if they're going to be Elseworld stories within that Batman universe, because I feel like they can build that. I mean, what they're doing with the Penguin, and they're building more on that Gotham City and that Batman universe. I think that there's something there for an Elseworld story and building a universe in an Elseworld story. Well, a Batman universe in an Elseworld stories, which would be absolutely amazing. So I am looking forward to this. This will be really good. I think it'll be very good. So looking forward to it. Bane and Deathstroke movie. Interesting team up, but I think it'll be good. Sticking on to the DC news, an animated Robin origin story, dynamic duo set at DC Studios featuring Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. So this, I think, also is going to be good. It's going to be an animated one. So DC Studios is getting together the dynamic duo, just not the one you might be expecting, ahead of the debut of DC's animated Max series. Creatures Commandos. Creatures Commandos. The studio is mounting its first animated feature project, Dynamic Duo, with Warner Brothers Pictures Animation. Rather than focus on Batman and Robin, the film will serve as an origin story for Robin and Robin, aka Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. This I think it will be good. This will be awesome. I mean, there's so much story behind Robin, Dick Grayson, and Jason Todd. I think there's so much there, and to build like as they say, an origin story behind them, I think it just fits in really well. So it'll be very interesting to just give us that origin story, see if they connect to DC Universe or not. But it's interesting, and I think animation will be great. Rather than start casting live action, maybe this can connect to a live action. MCU's done that actually with the What If cartoons and everything, but I don't think that's a bad idea. Making the animation give us the origin story of these Robins, and then linking it back to the movies, you know, if they do live action. Which I think eventually they will, but just give us the animation. You know, if you want to see the origin story of these characters, here's the animation. And then when they come into the movie, you already know them. I mean, that might be a good idea. We'll see. And I want, you know, or do you do this for the Matt Reeves universe? We're just talking about, you know, Bane and Deathstroke, like, and that whole Batman universe there. I mean, I don't know if Bane and Deathstroke's going to be in the Matt Reeves universe, but I don't know. What if they're doing two separate universes that we don't know about? Like a whole Batman universe, and a DC and a whole DCU universe. It could be interesting. I think that's could be an interesting different take on the whole DC universe, these studios, you know, rather than just focusing on one universe. They're doing Elseworld stories, but building universes out of Elseworld stories. I think that's a great idea because it just gives you multiple different perspectives on different characters in different universes. So you just don't have to really think about them linking up and why is that character like this and this kind. You can give me two different kind of Penguins and Jokers and Robins and Batmans and whatnot. I think that would be amazing. That'd be amazing. Unless what would be crazy is let's say somehow link the Matt Reeves universe to the whole DC universe that they're doing in some kind of, you know, multiverse story. I don't know, man, but the Elseworld stories that they're doing is pretty decent. So looking forward to see what they're doing. Cool. Moving on to other news. Rugrats. I don't know if you remember this comedy as well, cartoon from the 90s, but they're looking to do a Rugrats live action movie in the works at Paramount with CGI babies. CGI baby, that might be freaking awkward, man. Depending on Rugrats is returning on the big screen. Paramount is developing a live action CG hybrid feature film that's based on the beloved 90s animated TV show. Tommy, that's it. Tommy Pickles and his pals Chucky, Finster, Phil, and Lil. Yeah, DeVille. And then what's the girl's name? The animated movie, which is set in the real world, a la Sonic the Hedgehog. It's unclear of the original series. And Angelica, that's it. Angelica, that's what I was looking at. I mean, we'll see. I used to watch this as a kid. I don't know if I could say I'm going to watch the movie, but I definitely remember watching this, which should be interesting. We'll see how they do with those CGI babies. It might be freaking creepy as hell, or it might be good. We'll see. Robocop TV series at Amazon sets Peter Ocko as showrunner, James Wan to produce. So this is on Variety website. So the Robocop TV series is in development, and Amazon is starting to take shape. Variety has learned that Peter Ocko has boarded the project to serve as writer, executive producer, and showrunner. In addition, James Wan is set to executive produce under his Atomic Monster banner. So, Robocop, you know, a TV show might be good, and if they just take it back, well, you can't really take it back. You've got to advance the technology, right? The new one that they brought out a couple of years back, I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched that. You know, they advanced the technology. I mean, Robocop back in the 80s was an advancement of technology, cyborg and all that sort of stuff. So you got to kind of, I guess you got to do it now. I just feel like I remember the original one compared to the one that came out a couple of years ago. There was the original one was just a lot more grittier, especially the way Murphy, you know, got shot up and everything. It was just scary in a way. And those villains, those bad guys were. Again, they were just bad guys that you immediately were scared of. They immediately scared you. They put fear in you because of just how brutal and savagely they were. Whereas in the new one, it just didn't, you know, it just wasn't the same. There's something about those old 80s movies where they express, you know, the bad guys and characters and character building stuff in a short period of time in a movie and just, you know, just immediately make you want the good guy to get his revenge and the bad guys to die, like literally good guys and bad guys stuff. Anyway, let's see. I mean, with TV shows these days, you know, they could be as violent and whatever as possible. It doesn't mean that it has to be violent, but they can really explore where they want to take this show. So James Wan, I mean, come on, that's big. That's big. So him in the project should be great for Robocop. And then lastly, just finishing off with some video games news. I mean, there's loads of stuff happening in the video game world, to be honest with you. I only talk about the stuff that I like. So obviously I'm being biased. But PlayStation released a trailer of Ghost of Yotei, which is Ghost of Tsushima Part 2, basically. So this, it looks, I mean, look, with the PS5 graphic, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games. The visuals in that game, the scenery was all, it was just beautiful. So I could only imagine what they're gonna do with the PS5, and the trailer gave us an element of that, which is, it looks freaking beautiful and fantastic. It looks like it's set like hundreds of years after Ghost of Tsushima. This game's looking to come out next year, so I can't wait. Immediately, I'm buying this game. I don't care. I'm not waiting around for this one. This one I'm gonna buy, take my time. Looking forward to that one. Not much is known. I'm on GameRant.com. Not much is known about Ghost of Yotei at the moment, apart from its brand new protagonist named Atsu, the 1603 time period, and the geography island of Hokkaido being used as the game's backdrop. Excuse me. Since Hokkaido is significantly larger than Tsushima in real life, fans have been wondering how Sucker Punch will handle Ghost of Yotei's open world activities, creative activities. Creative director Jason Connell brought this up in a recent interview with the New York Times, stating that the open world game design comes with the challenges of repetitive activities, but Sucker Punch is working to balance against that and find unique experience of Ghost of Yotei. So that would be good. I agree. Like, you end up doing repeat like type of missions and stuff like that. If they could find a way to make things more unique, that would be pretty awesome. But regardless, I'm in with this game. I mean, I cannot wait for this game. Cool. All right. Well, guys, that was the news. That was most of the news I had for this week. I think this week it was more, from what I saw, it was like more movies, more trailers and stuff like that than it was actual breaking news. But guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all the love, all the comments, all the, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please like, comment, all that good stuff. Again, the engagement across all the social medias. Follow us across all the social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter or X, Facebook, obviously YouTube. At the Brothers Geek Out podcast, follow Kibla and my journey on our Instagrams as well. The links are all in the description and everything. But always, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. The viewership and everything's been getting a lot better recently. I know we were shadow banned for a while. I don't know if we still are, but viewerships has been picking up a little bit, which has been great. So appreciate to all of you lot, mad love. Check out the Game Insight. We're looking to build that even more. Bought a HD camera now, so get our reactions of as we play as well. Get the mic on there as well. Hopefully don't go crazy and start smashing controllers and shit. But yeah, check out that Game Insight as well. Our gaming channel as well. But yeah, guys, gonna leave it there. As always, one love, peace.